Hello there. I am going to describe the reasons for planning my space in my classroom. First, I wanted to group my students in the classroom so they could work either by themselves or in cooperative groups. The student desks needed to be located in the central area so they could see the whiteboard and have movability. The teacher area needed to be out of the way, but located where students could be easily monitored. I have 7 learning centers. These centers include computer technology, science, social, studies, reading, writing, and math. These areas are located throughout the classroom. Each area has plenty of space for students to work on the task and be away from the other centers. I wanted to organize the learning centers so that students could work and not be disrupted by the other groups. My classroom has organized areas and is very easy for movability. Everything has a place. I like my students to have enough space to feel comfortable and safe. I really like my classroom space.
Lighting is essential in a classroom. In most classrooms, the lighting is predetermined before there is ever a teacher assigned to that classroom.
Wow! I never thought about how important lighting is to a classroom.
Lighter colored surfaces reflect and absorb light and is more uniform and visually comfortable. Focal walls should be the brightest surfaces.
What's going on?
Hello there. Better lighting equals better learning.
Really?
Controlled light and appropriate artificial illumination are critical to the quality of student performance. I like to use a combination of natural and artificial light in my room. My classroom has a controlled indirect and direct natural lighting as well as reflect light and indirect artificial light. I hope you enjoyed our discussion of lighting within the classroom. Pop in anytime and continue our conversation of light within an optimal learning space.
For sure. See you around.
Of course, Mrs. M. Good times.
Color is very important in a classroom. The impact of color can be a negative or a positive thing in a classroom setting. Too much or too little color can affect people. Color can affect our body functions and influence our mind and emotions. Specific colors can impact certain physical systems in the human body. In my classroom, I like to use color and classroom themes. My classroom theme is owls. I also have a specific color theme which consists of blues, greens, and pinks. I have a total of 8 bulletin boards. I like to use bulletin boards because that allows me to use specific colors in a certain, organized area. My bulletin boards typically add different colors throughout the room based on what is displayed on them. Color is a huge factor, and which color to pick is even more important. Elementary students tend to like warm, bright colors. This helped with my color theme for my learning environment. Pale yellow and light shade of blue on the walls will enhance the color of the room.
There are 3 additional effects that I would have in my classroom. Sound, accessibility, and space are important in my optimal learning environment. All 3 are important.
There's many different ways to incorporate music into the classroom. Using raps, songs, and making up words to well-known songs will help students with grade-level concepts.
Music can also help with language. It's important to provide music for students to increase their musical intelligence. Music promotes wonder and can increase test scores. I will tie in music with my lessons across content areas. Music will help me link culture and history in my classroom. During certain activities, I will play the music very quietly. Accessibility is very important in the classroom. I plan my classroom layout using accessibility for everyone. The classroom is neater and easier to maintain when planning ahead.
There aren't any maze-type walkways and her pathways are very large and easily accessible. She tries to think about movements and space within her classroom when setting it up.
I think I have my classroom climate, interaction, and physical environment and products, feedback, assessment, and accommodation accessible. My students like the accessibility.
Space and distance are kind of together. In her classroom everything has its own place and you can move around the room freely and engage in small groups freely.
Student behaviors can determine my spacing. Activities and lesson also determine my spacing. I love to change my spaces throughout the school year. My students' opinions matter also.
Lastly, distance. Distance refers to the space between people. Distance depend on the senses, the transaction, and what is being done. Everyone have various distances,